Are you trying to decide if you want to move to Table Rock Lake or Lake of the Ozarks? Well, you'll want to watch my video because I'm going to go over the differences between the two lakes. They're very different. Actually, Table Rock Lake is very quiet. Lake of the Ozarks is Table Rock on steroids. So bigger water, bigger boats, bigger homes. I'm going to go over all of that with you here in just a minute. So my name is Carrie Higgs and I'm a realtor here in Branson. I've grown up around Table Rock Lake, so I've done a lot of boating and a lot of surfing and wakeboarding over the years and really have enjoyed living here. I haven't been to Lake of the Ozarks very often because I'm right here on Table Rock. But I've also talked to a lot of people that have had homes in Lake of the Ozarks. It's a really great lake in its own way, totally different than Table Rock. So if you want to think about it in this way, if you're looking for real estate in Miami Beach, or are you looking for real estate in Clearwater Beach? So definitely there's some similarities, but two beaches are totally different. One's a party beach and then the other one's more for family. That's exactly the way our two lakes compare. One is a party area, one is more for family. Now, when you think of Branson, we don't have a lot of nightlife, which I'm going to go over in a little bit. You can take your grandma and your 5-year-old and both of them are going to have a great time. I mean, how bizarre is that? So we definitely have a different feel to Table Rock Lake here. And this is actually why. First of all, the location is a little farther away. And you got to keep in mind that Lake of the Ozarks is a central location right in the middle of Missouri. So it's going to be 2.5 hours from Kansas City, and then 3 hours from St. Louis, and then 1 hour from Jeff City. So Lake of the Ozarks is a really easy place to get to for the weekend. Now let's think about this. If you're from Kansas City or St. Louis, maybe you want to venture out into Table Rock Lake and find a place here. Our lake is 2 hours from Lake of the Ozarks south. It's 4 hours from St. Louis, and then it's 3.5 hours from Kansas City. So I find that some people are willing to make the drive and they're wanting to come down here and find a second home just because it's a little more quiet and they're kind of ready for that in their life. And something that a lot of people aren't aware of, Table Rock Lake is controlled by the Army Corps of Engineers, which really makes our lake a lot different than Lake of the Ozarks. They control all of the shoreline around the edge of the lake. That's why when you're out on the water, it's so peaceful and quiet. And you don't see a ton of boat docks. You don't see a ton of homes right on the water. They're more up on the hill. And if they're lakefront, they have that row of trees usually. And you can do some clearing in between those trees, but most of our lakefront homes have those trees, which I'll pop up a picture right here so you can see. Now, there's a few homes that have been grandfathered in where people were allowed to clear a long time ago, like in the late 60s, early 70s. Those homes are really hard to find. They're out there, but really hard to find. Lake of the Ozarks is not controlled by the Army Corps of Engineers, and that's a huge difference because they can build their homes right on the water. Usually they have a seawall in front of them. They can have a boat dock right there, walk right out to the dock. A lot of people want that on Table Rock, but it's a bit difficult. So if you're really wanting that, you might look at Lake of the Ozarks, just saying. I don't want to be biased here, but Table Rock's going to be a bit different. The great thing about that, though, is it makes Table Rock more peaceful, and you don't have a bunch of boat docks and homes right on the water. So you kind of feel like you're really by yourself out there when you get in a cove, especially with no homes around you. So here's a huge difference in both lakes. Lake of the Ozarks has a lot of nightlife. It has swim-up bars, beach bars, floating bars, any kind of bar you can imagine. Lots of people around. So this is kind of reminds me of Cancun a little bit, and that's just not something that we have on Table Rock Lake. We do have a couple of floating restaurants that are pretty good. We have Big Buoys in Kimberling. There's also, places to get pizza. And, if you're getting gas at a marina, you can get a little beer and, a snack or something. But we don't have like all of the restaurants that that you guys have in like the Ozarks. A lot of times when you are, getting off the lake at the end of the day, you want to go eat something good. And, there's a couple of restaurants in Kimberling, but they're full. There's Mexican and pizza, but, if you don't want to eat that, sometimes you just go home. Yeah, so I think we're definitely in need for some good restaurants, but maybe that will come around as more people come to the lake. Another major difference, if you're thinking about investing in a nightly rental home, man, it's really, really hard because now Stone County and Taney County will not let you nightly rent a regular home here. And I'm talking about a residential home. So that's why our condos have spiked up in value here in Branson, because there's just not many nightly rental investments that you can make unless you go for a condo or unless you go for the new nightly rental homes that are going up all around the lake. Now those are developed just for nightly rental. And so that's why those have been selling. So our residential homes, the counties have really tightened up on that here. And, it's quite different now in like the Ozarks, because before January of last year, they had the same restriction on residential homes. But lately it has opened up, and residential homes and duplexes, you can nightly rent anywhere in like the Ozarks. So that was just passed in January, and I'm going to put a link here to this article where you can read more about that, because there was a lot of people that were upset that they are allowing it, because it's just kind of a free-for-all now that anybody can nightly rental their home. It'll be really interesting to see how this plays out, and I think our counties down here are probably watching to see how that goes. Very interesting stuff, but if you want to learn more information, I'll leave all the links below, okay? Okay, so I'm going to end my video here. I know there's a lot more I could talk about, but I'd love to hear your comments on, do you like Table Rock or like the Ozarks? Leave your comment below. So I hope you guys have a great summer, and I'll see you in the next video.